Hello, welcome to AJs Academy. In this class we are going to learn about data types and variables. First we will cover the theory and then we will go through the practical. The topics we will cover today are data types, variables, variable naming, and declaration. First of all, data types. In the C programming language, data types refer to an extensive system used for declaring variables or functions of different types. There are four main data types used in C programming language. The first one is character, declared as char. It stores a single alphabet or character. Second is integer, declared as int. It stores integer values or real number values. Third one is float, declared as float, stores floating point values or stores values with points. And the last one is double. It also stores number values, but it can hold the double size of data compared to the float data type. It can hold approximately 15 to 16 digits before and after the decimal point. Now let's learn about variables. The variable is like a container in which we store our data. Or a variable is nothing but a name given to a storage area that our programs can manipulate. Each variable in C has a specific type, which determines the size and layout of the variable's memory. Now, variable naming. A variable name can be of anything we want to call out variable. Yet there are specific rules we must follow while naming a variable. A variable name can contain alphabets, digits, and underscore only. The starting letter cannot be a digit. Upper and lowercase letters are distinct because C language is case sensitive. White spaces cannot be used. The name should not be reserved keyword or special character. We can declare and assign the value to a variable in two ways. First way, int a equals to value terminator. Second way, int a terminator a equals to value terminator. Both of these have exactly the same working. A variable as its name's defined can be altered or its value can be changed. But same is not true for its type. If a variable is of integer type, then it will only store an integer value. Which means that we cannot assign a character type value to an integer variable. We cannot even store a decimal value into an integer variable. We will test these in the practical. Now the final one is declaration. We cannot declare a variable without specifying its data type. The data type of a variable depends on what we want to store in the variable, and how much space we want it to hold. The syntax for declaring a variable is simple. Data type, variable name, terminator, or data type variable name equals to value and terminator. The data type can be int, float, char, depending on what kind of value we want to store. Let's see this with an example. Now we are going to test these on the Dev C++ screen. First I am going to write a simple code here in which I will assign value to n integer variable. And I am going to print it, and here where I just added %d, it's the place where our data will be printed. And a is the assigned variable whose value will be printed. So it worked. Now let's try adding a floating point value into an integer. Look, it did not give an accurate output. because we have assigned the wrong data to the integer. Now let's comment it out and create a floating point variable. For floating point value we have to replace %d to %f. Look, it gave the right output. Now let's create a character variable. And for character we have to replace %f to %c. It also worked properly. Now let's learn how can we create a string from a char. Firstly, you must know a string is a variable data type which can store multiple characters and words. But string is not included in C language. So we will create a string from char data type by increasing its length. And now %c will be replaced by %s. Look, here we create a string to print multiple characters and it worked. Hope you are understanding how the things are working. Now let's try entering these characters in char data type. And look, it did not work because char data type can store only one single byte of memory. Now let's print out all the variables at one time. But because all the variable names are same, the program will not work and will give in error. So first we have to assign a different name to each variable. Now let's copy this print code to print all the variables. I am also changing the format specifiers according to the data types. So the all variables are printed accurately. Hope you all understood about data types and variables. So if you like this video, like, share, and for any queries comment below in comment section. And don't forget to subscribe.